Hey guys, welcome to my video for Education 390, Teaching Reading and Writing in the Content Areas. For this rubric, I focused on a lesson in the content area of science. It could follow the standard of engineering and design, and I focused on science for the reason that SPED students may need to spend more time in this area just because it is complex and really does take a lot of vocabulary and complex ideas and topics, so students may struggle with understanding and grasping those concepts. But for this assignment, it is a simpler assignment, and it is kind of a simple concept. So hopefully you can adapt it if you are a SPED teacher into your classroom, or a general education teacher could find many uses for this. So I do have a little blurb of the assignment and the experiment, but for purposes, I'll just summarize the main parts of it. So as you can see, the students will be designing, building, and testing models of the structures that support overhead highway signs. So this is an inquiry-based assignment for students to use materials and experiment with different structures. For the closest thing I can relate it to is when you're on the highway or interstate and you see the big marquees or the big electronic boards that say maybe like speed or the traffic or the delays, how much time it'll take from one place to another. And this assignment allows students to create the engineering process and design process for creating their own sign on the highway. And it really allows students to use materials and create their own thing and observe different styles and overhead signs that may be more conducive and effective than others. For this assignment, there is one specification that needs to be completed, and that is, of course, for the reasons of road width and maximum truck height. So this can really be an authentic assignment where students can relate it to their life. I do have a link down below to the pbslearningmedia.org website, which is where I found the experiment from. And on there you can find a little bit of a different modification for the assignment. So it may be a little bit different depending on how you want to work it in your classroom. The way I like to use it in my rubric and the way I followed is that there is a specific list of instructions, but since I felt that this was a more higher level, higher grade assignment, you could have students complete it with their own list of materials, so you wouldn't have to necessarily provide it. Part of the rubric could be that they assigned it them or designed it themselves and found their own materials. So let's get into the rubric itself. As I mentioned, this is for upper grades. It said 6 to 8 was the rough amount on the website. So I did want to bring it up a point that I did allow a scale of 4 to 0, just because there are really a range of abilities that this experiment could really bring out in students. And I think that I did a really good job of dividing those different point values. So I started with proficient, developing, average, needs improvement, and inadequate. I think after observing these two right here, 4 and 3, I could go to the extent of maybe moving proficient to 3 and then maybe making exemplar a 4. But I do think that proficient is a great one. Developing is that they have some of the areas but are just missing a few things to be perfect. Average is, it was alright, missing a couple parts, kind of unclear. 1 needs improvement. Lots of errors, maybe could have used a lot more revision. And 0 is inadequate. It was not complete, not finished, etc. So as you can see in my rubric, I did divide things up and I'm very color coordinated and organized, just because I think students might also relate to that and be able to organize it better in their heads. So the first area is brainstorming, because we all know in science that that's a super big part of the experiment process, is making sure a hypothesis or a plan. And I did that just here. In my assignment, I wanted the students to create a list of the steps that they needed to do for their building process. So I started with 6 because that's a great detail, great extent of describing. And I went all the way down to 0, did not complete. I think that's a great different comparisons, really does capture all of the ability levels. I then created a purpose statement. I wanted students to write why they were doing this and what they expected to get out of it, as well as maybe a hypothesis. So I did that from being detailed to maybe lacking some details to several parts missing again or did not complete at all. Then moving on to the design process. Since it's really a how I want to say this, it's a very hands-on activity and very student-driven. There really isn't a cap you could put on how students should design it. So I only kept this from students submitted a rough draft design plan with sufficient details and visuals just to make sure that I knew what they were kind of thinking. They had it written down so they weren't going in blind. So I did create that from another, just like I said, following above, having it be detailed, making sure there are pictures in it, words, describing, very vivid descriptions, all the way to did not create at all. Another interesting part about my rubric that I think is really important for rubrics and may sometimes get lost in how to create them is that for construction, again, it's a very open-ended project. You either did it or didn't. So that's kind of how I did it here, is that, if you followed the required specifications and you had all those measurements that were listed in the summary above, then you got the 4 points because you did what was asked of you. If you did not follow those and you got them off, that is a 0 because that was really the basis of the project, to make sure it was authentic and real. So I do think that was a hit or a miss, and you'll be able to see later on in my rubric that I did the same style. But I think that this is a great tool or a great strategy that some teachers don't really think about because they really want to get students all the points that they can. But I feel that sometimes it's okay to have a hit or a miss, that students get the points or don't. I really think that some areas need to be clear like that and don't need all the fluff. I think the construction in an open-ended project like this was really helpful for students and could be, could give them the points that they need. The next part was testing, because of course the students are going to test their structures that they made. And there are 2 different tests that the experiment asks for, which is wind, because you want your structure to stand when it's blowing, as well as weight. You want to be able to have it hold things, or how much of the material that it could hold. So I do have that students perform 6 trials, again following kind of with the steps that I want them to do 6 of each, 4 of each. They completed 2, 1, or did not perform at all. And I think that 6 is a fair number of trials. You could get 3 that work, 3 that don't, or you could get all 6, or 5 and 1. I think it's a great combination and could be really successful for students if they did 6 or did not perform at all. Alright, and the last one I did is evaluation. So again, after the experiment concludes or the project concludes, they would create a reflection on how their project went, or what worked, what didn't, how their project, or what their final result was. So again, this is another hit or a miss. Students aren't graded on how they feel the project went. If it was a flop, I don't feel that students should be degraded for it, or point values should be taken off if the project didn't sustain or fell down during the trials. Of course, it has to meet those requirements, but that's why there was a separate part of the rubric for that. The evaluation is just a reflection on how it went, what could have been improved, what could have been changed, and again, that would come on the assignment sheet that would be described for them. But I just want to see how they felt about it. I want to see what they learned. So I don't think that that's really fair to give a point value on what they think they learned. Either they showed what they learned or did not learn, or they just didn't complete it at all. So I really think that that's a fair reason for me to black out these gray areas. So I don't really think you can fluff or spruce up an evaluation to make it 4 points. So again, overall, this was a really great assignment, and it really did open my eyes to the different expectations or standards you want your students to fulfill. And I think that this rubric is a really great summary of a wonderful inquiry-based assignment. And I think you could use this same structure for a lot of different inquiry-based or student-led discoveries. So I hope you liked my rubric, and if you have questions, please let me know. Thanks!